Hello, guys. Welcome. Onyx the Moon God here. We are now hiding under the ocean because I am currently, a little lost. But that tends to happen with ADHD, You get a little lost now and again. But, you know, I think the people who notice that the most are our partners, those that we are closest to. They tend to notice the most that, you know, we're not always where we should be. We're not always what we're doing, what we should be doing, or understanding what we're supposed to be understanding. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that our minds are everywhere, all the time. It happens a lot with ADHD. We get distracted easily. We get focused on something. For a lot of us, this sense of closeness is different than it is for normal or most other people, or a lot of other people. For me, I know that me being close to someone is just them being in the room, me knowing they're present and here with me while I'm doing something. That is me spending time with you. That's me being close with you. We don't have to be doing the same thing all the time, That's for me. And for others it's going to be different, but that's for me. And it's difficult in relationships when the person that you're with doesn't view things the same way, doesn't feel things the same way. For example, let's say that their idea of closeness is, or being together is, you focusing on them, spending all of your time, spending your time with them, not necessarily doing something together, but doing it with them. Maybe they're reading a book. Well, now you're reading the same book with them. Maybe they're talking about, maybe they want to talk, have more open communication, but they want it to be personal. They want it to be deep, feeling, meaningful conversations. It can't be about just any old thing. It's got to be about your feelings and your stuff like that. And that can be very difficult for somebody with ADHD. Hell, just remembering important events for people with ADHD is difficult. Like anniversaries, birthdays, all that stuff. It can be hard. I forget what holiday it is if it wasn't for the music on the radio half the time. Like, really, guys. It can be really bad for us sometimes, but we do our best. And it's important that our partners understand that it's not something that we can control, and we're not doing it on purpose. It's who we are as an individual. And if they truly love us and care about us, they will learn to adjust to that, or they will help us learn to adjust to them so we can work together through certain things. Compromise and communication. Biggest thing that's going to happen in a relationship. It's important in a relationship, especially one with an ADHD partner. It's very, very important. You're going to find your partner wanting to wander. You're going to find your partner wanting to explore and experience new things. As the normal partner, you're going to find your ADHD partner wanting to wander around. They're going to want to explore things. They're going to want to experience things. You're going to want to change things up a lot in the relationship. Not dramatically, mind you, but like do the same thing every day. Maybe it's the same position all the time in the bedroom or something like that. It's going to get boring. It's going to get tedious for them, and it's not going to give the dopamine rush that they need anymore. And it's not you, and it's not the relationship. It's just their brain. They're not getting that stimulation. So change things up, Try a new position. Wear some fancy clothing. Maybe you have to put in a little more effort to get them motivated into the situation. Maybe they need to put more effort in, you know? It can go both ways. But um important thing is that you need to change things up from time to time. Um it's important with ADHD to have a schedule and have a routine and have a plan. Talk to them. Say, hey, personal time with me is now. Or personal time with me is at this time during the week. It's at this time on weekends. It's at this time on weekdays or whatever, We're going to do date night on Fridays. It's going to be date night Friday at 10 p.m. And then be a little flexible about the start time because they have ADHD and they're going to get focused on things, but make sure you remind them, keep them focused on that. This is what we're doing. This is when we're doing it. Here's plan B and here's plan C if something with plan A doesn't work out. It's important to give them a plan, but also give them ways around the plan, Strict and organization in the relationship, not like helicopter. Let them have most of their week, or let them, give them a task. Make sure they have X amount of days to complete the task. They're going to wait till the last day, just so you know. It's ADHD. They're going to wait till the last day. But give them X amount of days to complete the task. But then also in the relationship, you have to be aware, like, if there's something you need, you have to tell them. And you have to plan it for them or help them plan it. And you have to be willing to work with them as far as timing and, backup plans, for an event. At least that's been my experience as someone with ADHD. I am not... I honestly don't feel like I'm a great partner. I don't feel like I'm great at relationships. I struggle with my emotional connections to people. A lot of it has to do with my ADHD. A lot of it has to do with my background and some of my history. But because of that, I need certain things in relationships. It makes it difficult for me to have a committed relationship. And for those of you with ADHD who are struggling with the same thing, I'm there for you. I feel you. I understand you. But these are the things that I found that help me personally in a relationship work through things. Open and communication skills, talking about your feelings, talking about your plans and your emotions. Biggest thing is compromise between the two people. I can't be the one always picking out the tasks that we're doing, because then I feel bad and feel like I'm forcing my partner to do things that they may not want to do. But, I can't expect my partner to always put forward the effort and plan things either. That's not fair to them. It's got to be a give and take and a balance. That being said, there are things you can do to help these. And if you do what we've talked about during this video, the brief little sections that we covered, just a rough intro of things, you should be feeling a lot better in a relationship. If you run into more problems or struggles, you guys know where to reach out to me. I have my stuff linked. Not that hard to find. So you guys feel free to come reach out to me anytime you need to. And we will figure this all out together. I will help you work through any kind of relationship problems you may be having or anything like that. But for now, that has been part 3 or part 4. Stay tuned for part 5. We're going to talk a little bit more about ADHD and partners and things like that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Moon God and then the things that are changing on my channel for all of you who haven't heard the news so far. Thank you very much for watching. Moon God out.